Sage Wanderer here, coming at you from my van down by the river. So I wanted to talk about something today that I don't think enough people are really pointing out. You know, everyone has their different take on what is going on down at the border with Mexico. And, just yesterday they tried to rush the border, and Trump has closed the border to Mexico. And I think what he is doing is something that is bigger than people think. You know, there's this world of narratives and false narratives and opposing narratives. So the left is saying he's just xenophobic. He's just afraid of them because they're brown. He's a racist. Donald Trump's a racist. Okay, so why does the left want all of these people in our country? Why do they want that border open so that all of these South Americans can come up here? It's pretty simple. They figure they're going to vote Democrat. So that's the political motivation for why they're fighting for an open, porous border on the southern border. They want to add these people to the voting rolls. But see, the plot is much bigger than this, because what is going on right now on our southern border is starting to look a lot like what we saw happen in Europe. These waves of North African immigrants. A lot of people wanted to make that about religion, but really it's socioeconomic. It's the old haves against the have-nots. That there are people in this world that want to conquer the world. What are we going to do today, brain? Well, Pinky, we're going to do the same thing we do every day. We're going to try and take over the world. Pinky and the brain. Sorry, side note. So this idea of conquering the world has been around for a long time. Alexander the Great tried it, and some say we're successful at it. Napoleon tried it. The Roman Empire tried it. The British Empire tried it. The United States Empire tried it. The Soviet Empire tried it. And now there's this group of extremely rich international businessmen that want to try it from a different perspective. And so they're manipulating all of this. And the big name that comes up is George Soros. And once again, the left says if you pick on George Soros, you're some kind of anti-Semite. Really? What about the new members of your Democratic Congress? Yeah, they want to see the state of Israel dissolved. What do you got to say about them? But, you know, I don't see the nationality of George Soros having much to do with any of this. It isn't about who George Soros is. It's about what George Soros is trying to do, along with a lot of other millionaires and billionaires and whatever trillionaires. These extremely rich elite individuals are trying to break down the borders so that they can destabilize nations and take over the world. So Democrats, that's easy for them to buy in because the bait on the trap. Because see, the Democrats, you know, it's like Antifa says, liberals get a bullet too. So, you know, I don't care if they demonetize my videos. I say what I want to say. But at any rate, when the left, you know, they think that when they capitulate, that they're going to get put into power in the United States. They were there, if they let all of these, if they make it so all of these people can come up and become citizens and get the right to vote, that they're all going to vote for Democrats. And either they're blind to, or they don't think it's real, or they don't get it. They're just being duped. They don't understand that that's not Soros's plan. He isn't trying to take over the United States government. He's trying to destroy all governments and replace them with one centralized government, a la the Hunger Games. So you have all these regions that are controlled, and some have more status than others. And ones that play nice get treated good, ones that play bad get treated harshly. And this one group or body oversees the entire earth. And that this is what they're trying to do. And this is what globalism is. Nationalism is the idea that we want to have our own little globe, our own little world, our own little place where we are in control of our own lives, our own destinies, and our own day-to-day governing. And that's freedom, and that's what America's based on, and that is what nationalism is, which has nothing to do with white nationalism. That's a completely different thing. Well, for instance, a Russian is a human being that lives in Russia. A white Russian is a drink you buy at the bar. So you can add a word to something and make some big changes, okay? Totally different meanings. But nationalism means you want nations. Globalism means you want no borders. And, you know, when you take away our sovereignty. Now we have to live like they say. Because you think they're going to let America be in charge? No, more than likely not. Someone else is we're going to have to be under the rule of someone very different from us, with very different values, with very different ideas of rights and freedom and God and country and religion and all of that. This is anti-American. It's anti-every nation. Globalism is not a good thing. And that is who is behind what is going on our southern border. You think this group that's in this caravan, and the caravan behind that, and the one behind that, and the ones that are going to keep coming and coming and coming, do you think those people just woke up one day and went, I think I'd like to go to America? No, these globalists, these activists, working with the Democrats, went down there and said, come to America where everything is free, and vote Democrat. And here's some money, and here's some buses to ride, and here's some new shoes and a backpack. Many of these people only bought this idea because they were already desperate. So saying that this is the cream of the crop coming from these southern countries is ridiculous. It's not. It's the young and the desperate and the hurting and the needy and the unstable and the criminal and the dregs of society, along with the desperate and needy. So this is the exact formula that conquered Europe. Yeah, Europe's been conquered. Europe was conquered by chaos, conquered by these immigrants who came from North Africa, who are perpetrating the worst kind of crimes against the culture. They have no manners. They didn't have an upbringing. These people are wild, like wild, feral animals. And they're going to do things the way they do them. And that's what's happening. And Europe is not Europe anymore. Europe is almost like a war-torn country, war-torn region now. Because, I mean, in places like Sweden, women are not safe. There are rape gangs. Tommy Robinson, he's been in the spotlight talking about what's going on in Great Britain. How people aren't safe. Whole no-go zones all through Europe. This is it's America's turn now. Come on. Can you not see that? Can you not see that what's going on down there on the southern border is America's turn? It's the exact same formula. So big deal, they're not Islam. The religion has nothing to do with it. It's the haves against the have-nots. George Soros and other people like him in these global good guys that are just helping these poor migrants, they're destabilizing our country. This is an invasion, just like it was an invasion of Europe by Northern Africa. It's just an unarmed invasion. Well, mostly unarmed. They're taking us by brute force. It's a strong armed robbery against our southern border. And if you want to know what it's going to look like, it'll look just like it did in Europe. In Sweden, where it's not safe to walk down the street. In Great Britain, where they're grooming little girls to be, to be their pedophile slaves. Come on, people. This stuff is going on. The left wing and the mainstream media is hiding it because they think they're going to get at least temporary power and control. They're being promised control. They're not going to get anything. Europe will control America if we let them. That's what this is about. These European billionaires. They want to control Rothschilds and all these people that want to control the United States. So, as I see it, Donald Trump is our last best chance at stopping them at the border. If we don't stop them at the border, there will be no-go zones in the United States. There will be entire counties that are basically little South American villages with South American ideas, South American culture, and South America representation. Instead of a melting pot, they will change our culture. A little salt seasons the whole batch, right? So enough of them comes in there, and now all of the things that make America America are gone, and we are some other place, some other nation. We also won't have the voting power to control our own fate. And these people that benefited from open borders, if they're allowed to come and settle in our country and be equals in what we do here, then our culture will change and they'll give themselves over to globalism. America will be sold out to the United Nations, to the EU, to the globalists who want a one world order. They found a way to conquer the world. They did. A different way. Instead of war, they're using human waves of invading cultural warriors who, once they get entrenched and once they get control, they will gladly turn our country over to the globalist, and the United States of America will be no more. God save our republic.